Kłodzko County is one of the places most affected by this year's flooding. Water flooded the towns of Stronie Śląskie, Wądek-Zdrój and Kłodzko. Meanwhile, it turned out the day before the big flood on the 13th of September, Kłodzko Starost Małgorzata Jędrzejewska-Szczypczyk of the Civic Platform, like Donald Tusk, reassured residents. The situation is under control. In mountain towns, small streams turn into rushing rivers very quickly. So here there is such a danger that there could be local flooding. This local flooding turned out to be the biggest flood since 1997. Chaos and misinformation best describes the actions of the Kłodzko district governor. The administrators of the flooded villages learned about the breach of the dike in Stronie Śląskie, which led to the flooding of the entire region, from the media. The Starost also sabotaged the work of Jan Kalfas, who is responsible for the emergency operations in the district. The flow of information was due to the fact that Mrs. Starosta made the decision on her own. If I even wanted to get employees to help, Mrs. Starosta told me that if I couldn't handle it, I should fire myself. Eventually, Jan Kalfas gave his notice. He explained that it was impossible to cooperate with the Kłodzko Starosta. He also added that he did not receive information from her about the dam bursting in Stronie Śląskie. I don't want to lie, but I also got this information somewhere around 12 o'clock, but from people, through photos. One person from the apartment building showed me the video. The scale of neglect is frightening. Former long-time Lower Silesia Civic Platform politician Jacek Protasiewicz is also not biting his tongue, leaving no dry thread on the actions of his former party colleagues. Here, about what really went on behind the scenes of the Theatre of Crisis Staff TV in Wrocław. And you should know that the Starost of Kłodzko and the Lower Silesia governor and the head of the office of the governor, privately the son of the Starost, are from the Kłodzko Civic Platform subordinated to Monika Wielichowska. During Saturday's public emergency briefing, Prime Minister Donald Tusk gave assurances that all those responsible for negligence related to the flooding would be held accountable. I, for one, need to know, if there were signals, how come someone did not make any decisions? The question is whether justice will reach the activists of the Civic Platform. And the question is whether Prime Minister Tusk himself will admit his mistake. He was the one who, the day before the cataclysmic event, had been swaddling the Poles during a press conference. The forecasts are not overly alarming. However, contrary to the Prime Minister's assurances, the forecasts were alarming. Both the Polish Institute of Meteorology and Water Management and the European Commission had been alerting the Prime Minister about possible flooding since the 10th of September. The IMGW accurately predicted which rivers would flood. The authorities did nothing with this knowledge. Explain to me how it is. Is this how the Polish state should act? Is this how it should be, that the IMGW has been simply shouting to Donald Tusk since Tuesday, Mr. Prime Minister, there will be a flood in Poland, and the Prime Minister Donald Tusk seems to have done nothing about it? I don't understand it at all. For those few days, the government could have at least prepared residents for evacuation. This, as well as other measures, were unfortunately absent. This year's flood emphatically showed that neither the government nor the local governments run by Donald Tusk's people were prepared for this kind of disaster.